YouTube. How are you this morning? I'm doing pretty good. I'm almost there. I've started the drainage cycle. Woo! So I'm probably going to run out of Kleenex anytime now. I am on US 231 southbound in Indiana. Still heading to Owensboro, Kentucky. Now, I know what you were thinking. You were in Kentucky. How did you get to Indiana to go into Kentucky again? Well, my original intention was to take the Bluegrass Parkway and come up from the south. But this morning when I got up, which I was late getting up, I actually slept through both my alarms. So I got up like an hour and a half after I should have. I guess I needed to sleep since it was nice and cool and the truck wasn't idling and the parking lot was quiet. Hell, I digress. I was going to take the Bluegrass Parkway, but apparently there was a huge accident on it. And Diesel was telling me that the traffic monitoring service that I subscribe to was telling me that there was a 2 to 3 hour traffic delay. So my best bet was to take 64 into Indiana and then come south and hit it into Owensboro. It was only going to add 5 more miles to a trip that was already way over route anyway. It would save about 2 to 3 hours driving time. So I said, okay. And I decided to do that. Jill about had a conniption when I got to Louisville and didn't turn to get on the Bluegrass Parkway. She hemmed and hawed and hollered, did her little thing. Finally, she gave up. Said, okay, you want to go this way, we'll go this way. But then she stuck a big out of route notice on top of my navigation system. Which she does that even if I'm on the route that she tells me to take. Kind of weird. So I am running behind. I should have already been there and gotten unloaded. And I feel bad about that. I really, really do. But apparently my body needed the rest. Badly. I didn't even wake up to both alarms. So I got like about 9 hours sleep, which is about 2.5 to 3 hours more than I get on a usual basis. So I got up Mount Sterling, bought fuel, took off, and now I'm here. About a half hour ago, I got a dispatch message with a pre-plan telling me about my next trip. And I almost had a cow. And I'm not quite sure whether I want to have a cow or not on it. I got to go to Alaska Steel, which unfortunately for me is not in Alaska, because I would happily go there. The problem is I probably would not come back. Because as many people know, I want to move there. I got plans set in motion, and I am ready to go and ready to stay. Oh, this is really cool. I did not know, but I'm getting ready to drive by a nuclear power plant. I always think driving by them are cool. Well, I digress. And by the way, that's in Rockport, Indiana. And speaking of Rockport, Indiana, that's where my pre-plan is supposed to pick up, at Alaska Steel in Rockport. It's supposed to be a single coil, about 38,000 pounds. And the appointment is for 2 o'clock Central Time. Matter of fact, I just passed. It's right there, Alaska Steel. Sweet. So they're gonna pay me 10 miles deadhead for a 30-mile drive. Pick that up and then take that to Memphis. That's okay, and it's due tomorrow. It's not very far though. It's about 300 miles. I cannot sleep in Memphis. And apparently I'm not supposed to sleep in Rockport. But I just saw a huge parking area outside of Rockport. And there's a truck stop just north of here, and there's another truck stop just south of here. I don't know what kind of timing I'm going to have. It all really depends on how long it takes me to get rid of this. It took a half-hour drive back up here, and only God knows how long to load. Because if the appointment's at 2 o'clock, I'm not going to get to Owensboro until about 11:20. And depending on how long that load takes, I might be late. It's going to take at least an hour. At least. It'll take 30 minutes just to fold the freaking tarps. And it's been raining, so they're going to, all morning, they're going to want to check what they got and make sure it doesn't have any water damage. So that's where we stand. Nuclear power plant. I've driven by 2 of them today. Rockport, Indiana nuclear power plant. They got 2 cores. It looks like both of them are going. That's pretty cool, huh? I think so. I don't know about you. So that's where we stand. I'll give y'all an update a little bit later. See ya. Good afternoon, YouTube. How are you this afternoon? I'm bored. It's about 2:20 in the afternoon in Rockport, Indiana. And I'm at Alaska Steel in the holding pen. I've been here about 45 minutes or so. I got to the delivery earlier, and that went really well. I got there and let them know I was there. They told me to pull around and park in this gravel lot, take the tarps off, get it ready to unload. And I was like, it's raining, man. I said, that's cool. Just get the tarps off quick and then come inside, go back in to the bay. I said, okay. So I got there, got the tarps off. I mean, it was still covered in plastic underneath my straps, so it wasn't getting too wet. It was just kind of sprinkling. It took me about 35 minutes, I think, to get both the tarps down and get them rolled up and put away. I'm pretty impressed with that. The last time I had to take 2 lumber tarps off, roll them up, put them away, it took me down in 15 minutes. So, and then it started to rain harder. So I went ahead and backed in before I took the straps off. And it still got a little damp. Still got a little wet on one end because the plastic flew up and exposed the one end of it to the rain. But I got it backed up in there and then got all the straps off, pulled the plastic off, threw the plastic in the trash, got my stuff all put away. That took about another 30 minutes. So all told, it took about 45, maybe 50 minutes to get ready for them to take the stuff off. That's pretty good. It means I am getting better. I'm getting faster to a certain extent. And once that was done, I went looking to find it to tell them I was ready. And there was nobody there. They'd all gone to lunch. I mean, I saw a couple of them driving off while I was taking the tarps off, but I didn't think about it, anything about it. And some guy waddled out and said, yeah, they went to lunch. They should be back about 10 minutes. And then he got in his car and drove off. And so I was sat there, waited like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Finally, I saw a car drive in. Guy got out and hopped on the forklift, started taking stuff off. He took it off in about 25 minutes or so. And then I was done, checked out, drove up here. It took about 20 minutes to drive up here. It's 20 miles. Even though I'm going to get paid 10 for it. That's the way it is in this industry. And so got here, checked in, let them know I was here. I was here early. Appointment was at 2. I was here at 1:25, I think. And then I got my truck and waited in line to get on the scale to scale in. And finally, a few minutes ago, I got up on the scale. And he went down this laundry list of stuff asking me if I had this equipment and PPE and all kinds of stuff. That's why I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. You got to wear long sleeve shirts while you're here. Okie dokie. And he said, okay, well, there's 3 guys ahead of you for the door that you need. Because there's no space up there. So we're gonna put you in the holding pen, and I'll call you on the CB when it's your turn. I have a feeling I'm gonna be here a while. Good evening, YouTube. How are you this evening? I'm all right. It's a little chilly. It's about 57 degrees right now, and it's supposed to get down to the lower 40s tonight. I'm in Owensboro, Kentucky at the Hillbilly Truck Stop, number 2. And it's an okay truck stop. It's got fuel. It's got a cat scale and a restaurant. And the restaurant is passable. For $9, I got a edible plate of fried catfish and French fries, and all the Dr. Pepper I could stomach. I'd give it about 1.5 out of 5 stars. Nothing to write home about. I think the fish and the fries came out of a bag from Sam's. When we talked earlier, I was waiting to get loaded at Alaska Steel. I ended up waiting like 2.5 hours before they called me on the CB. I had decided to finally take a nap. And I had just laid down, and they called me. So I went over to the guard shack and got my load paperwork, and then hopped in the truck and drove up to where they were supposed to load me, and backed into the bay. And just as I was backing in the bay, it started to rain again, and the wind picked up, big time. So I got in there and gave him my paperwork, and then he went and pulled what he needed to do, and they came back and gave me my load information, which told me how much my stuff was going to weigh. I got 2 shotgun coils, and they each weigh 17,500 each. So after I saw that, I laid everything out for him, put the friction mats down, wood, coil racks, and he went and got the coils, brought them over with the little remote control crane and put them on, and got that done. And then he told me to secure and tarp outside as long as it wasn't raining. And at that time it stopped raining by the time I got the coils on. So it took me about maybe 30 minutes to get everything secured. Cross chains on each coil, and then a strap over each one. And I did with all chains, all over center binders, and 2 regular straps. Got that all done. I was getting ready to go outside, and it started raining again. And the loader guy was standing there and says, "Why don't you just go ahead and tarp inside? If it stops, then you can go outside." I said, "Okay." So grabbed out a canvas tarp and a steel tarp, threw them up on the deck. Took me a couple minutes to get the canvas tarp situated. It didn't want. I guess I hadn't used that one yet. I guess it wasn't folded right, because it didn't roll out the way it was supposed to. And got that in, got it all tucked in. We don't have to tie those down or nothing. And then I got out my steel tarp, my good one, because one's got a hole, this one doesn't. And threw that puppy on there and got it all straightened out as best I could. Just as I was getting it on and got in the way I wanted, the wind started really blowing. I mean, really, really blowing. And it was coming through the door, the big bay doors. And it was blowing about 25 miles an hour, gusting into the 40s. And it kept blowing the tarps everywhere. I finally got my tarp tacked down, and the rain stopped, but he closed the doors, the loading doors. So I just kind of continued tarping. And just enough to get it all tacked down the way I wanted. And then I open the door, let myself out, so another guy could back in and get loaded. He was waiting. And I got it out there, and it took me about an hour and 15 minutes just to tarp that, to get it tarped and get it all secured, because the wind was just horrendous. And there's another Maverick that was loading there with me. He was actually loaded before me. He was outside tarping, starting to tarp when the wind picked up, and he was having a heck of a time. But he'd already gotten most of it done by the time I got out. And he stood out there and kind of talked to me for a couple minutes, and we were talking about hours. And I told him, he was saying he only had like 30 minutes left. So I said, "Well, just run down the street. There's 2 truck stops, one little one, one big one. Both of them are hillbillies. And you should be able to make it." And you should, "How far?" I said, "Man, it's not even 10 miles, maybe 15 tops. You should have no problem getting there." And he did. He got here with like maybe 5 minutes to spare on his clock. When I got here, he was going to go inside and ate, so I went and ate with him. And we talked a little bit. His name's Charles. Seems like a nice guy. And he's from Virginia. So that is it. Not really much to say today. I'm feeling a little bit better, but I think with the cold coming in, I'm probably going to get worse. I don't know how to get over it. This load goes to Memphis tomorrow. That's just a stone's throw from Little Rock. Charles is telling me that there's loads in Memphis that actually go to Little Rock and loads that go to Texas. Either one will work. As long as I can stop in Little Rock this weekend to get my truck worked on. I want to go home, but if I don't make it home because I need to get the truck worked on, then that's fine. That's fine. Because at least in Little Rock I could do some laundry because I got 1 pair of pants and 2 shirts left that are clean. And I think 2 pairs of socks. And I brought a lot of clothes. I am wore out. I am literally changing clothes almost twice a day because I'm getting the stuff so dirty from doing this job. So, enough of that. This video is already long from my earlier comments. So, that's all I got. We'll talk tomorrow. Take a moment to subscribe. I appreciate all my subscribers and those that watch. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below or email me. If you're on TTR, you can post there and I will get to them when I can. Other than that, you have a good one. So keep your shiny side up, 73s, and we'll talk tomorrow. Good night.